Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, so Cancer, let me make some space. We're going to go ahead and jump on in to a storytelling where, as you can see, sorry, on this side, you can see that there's a little cabin. And I always think of, when people go out to a cabin, that's usually when they're like, you know, um, looking for a reconnection with nature or with themselves, or in this case, because of the hawk there. um, I could never be a weather girl, could I? I'd be pointing the wrong direction for all the weather fronts. No, it's really hard for me to remember which everything's reversed in this camera. But I always feel like this is where somebody is getting in touch with kind of like, the more straightforward message. And so I wanted to take a look at it from the perspective of in love and possibly in a no contact situation. What is this simplified like answer that somebody is coming to? What is this kind of like more straightforward, um, I'll say, like thing that a character has identified as how they really feel about something. We have the Chariot. There's Cancer. We have an Eight of Cups. We have a Seven of Wands. Is this somebody who understands why Cancer left? Is that it? Did they say, I put up so many boundaries that of course Cancer left, I drove them away? Cancer came straight toward me and then turned around, made a U-turn and left, because who's going to jump over all of this fire to try to get to me? This is blockages. I'm wondering if somebody tried to push Cancer out of their life and it worked, plain and simple. Denisa, hi babe. Hi Jessica. So good to see you, babe. Glad you made it to alive tonight. We got a Four of Cups that's in the reverse. We got the Knight of Cups upright. I would just say that they know exactly the way they handled things. They know exactly why things played out the way it did. But maybe this person is even saying, because this says there's no illusions, but they also know if I put an effort to pursue Cancer, that could change things. What I haven't done yet was pursue. So maybe that's what I should do. Let's get another message on this. King of Pentacles. This, I don't know if Cancer was dealing with an earth sign, but it's possible. Possibly a masculine in this case. I almost think that because of the way they behaved and that drove Cancer away, they're actually sitting here saying, but if I reversed my behavior, if I offered something instead of blocked everything, Cancer might want what I've got. That's simple. If you want something, you have to give to it. You gotta offer something to make somebody want to be there. It seems very simple that this would be their big revelation, but of course that's the way that works. Hey, Moon Pony. We have a Six of Swords. They keep recognizing, though, that maybe it's too late. Cancer has definitely moved on and has kind of given up on them, has stopped talking to them, is someplace not even like on their radar anymore. How long ago was this? Was this a long time ago that this person pushed and pushed and pushed away? We have the Moon. The Moon is what's hidden. It's also what's in somebody's subconscious. This doesn't really so much give us a timeline, unless we could say, well, maybe this was back in Pisces season. But I would say it's a little bit more along the lines of, this has been a truth that's been buried inside of them for a long time. And because we also have Cancer here, leaving during a full moon, I'm thinking that this had something to do with a moon cycle, a lunar cycle. Maybe this is only like a month ago or 2 months ago, since we have 2 full moons. I don't think it was so long ago for this person to have realized that Cancer moved away from me because I put up every blockage known to mankind. And I realized Cancer didn't want to move away from me, but they had no choice because I wasn't offering anything to make somebody want to stay. And this was something I knew about myself for a long time, but I didn't admit it until now. Why did you know this deep down, but you didn't admit it? What's the reason? Ace of Cups sideways. Was this person being stingy with love? Were they not sure about love? We have Hierophant. I'm not going to pretend like I think that this is like a great answer or anything, but the cards that we have here say this person knew that if they we just lost that. I don't know where it went. Aries will find it later. This looks like they're saying if I let myself be around Cancer, I know I'm going to fall for Cancer. Cancer's the one I'm going to marry. It wasn't ever a question mark of whether or not they loved Cancer. It was about they knew darn well this is not going to be some simple, lighthearted anything. This is going to be the person that I have to go the distance with. And I don't know if they were ready to go the distance with anybody because of just where they were at with the Nine of Wands. This is somebody who could have still had, I don't know, something that they had to prove to themselves. You notice she's kind of crouched down like she's about to, like almost like a sprinter going to be in a race or wanting to like run and pass the baton and, test themselves or something. It almost feels like this person said, I already know if I deal with Cancer, this is going to be the one. And I don't know that I'm ready to do that. So yes, I pushed Cancer away. Yes, my behavior was such that it would have pushed anybody away. So they sabotaged it, plain and simple. And they know this. They know that they sabotaged. I just think that's really crummy that you'd sabotage it on purpose with somebody that you're like, wow, this is the one I'd marry and I'm not ready. So let me sabotage instead of let me convey that I'm working on things. That's crummy. I'm sorry, I just have to weigh in with my 2 cents here. I don't know why, but Sassy Kate always has to put in her 2 cents. Queen of Wands. Look, there is something about Cancer that is so sexy. I don't have to feel sad or upset on Cancer's behalf. This card says so. Cancer's like, oh, trust me. I know damn well what they did. And if you think I'm putting up with any of that ish, you can forget that. I wouldn't tolerate their sabotage behavior. Yeah, I know they wanted me. And yes, I know that they wrecked things with me. Of course I moved on. Of course I turned on my heel and sashayed my fine ass right out the door. That's what I do. I don't stick around for somebody that's not giving me the attention that I want or they're sabotaging things. I wouldn't put up with that. I think this Cancerian is much more like empowered, and they have, I don't know if they've got like maybe a, like a moon sign that's a fire energy, because they definitely have a fiery side to them and they don't doubt their worth. They go after what they want. If they're not getting what they want in return, they leave stage left. And it's like, you can kiss this. You're the one going to be missing me, not the other way around. I saw you sabotage, but I'm out, because you'd have to come chase me down now and fix it and offer me something to entice me back in. I kind of love the fact that either Cancer might have told them off like that when Cancer left, because this is still on their side where they're like, I know damn well that Cancer like isn't losing sleep over me. Like they say that. They know that they sabotaged this. They know they were afraid to get too deep with Cancer, so they sabotaged it on purpose so Cancer would bounce. But it's also like they go, yeah, but Cancer also wasn't having any of it. That relieves me, because I was like, oh no, please tell me you didn't hurt Cancer. And this says no. Cancer was like, forget it. You would have to come and offer me something. Otherwise, you can't play. You can't play here in my sandbox. Okay, let's go to Cancer. What is Cancer recognized about this? Queen of Cups, Nine of Wands. Cancer said spot on. What do you mean? Of course I love this person. And yes, I know they were super like still working on something. They felt damaged. They felt wounded. Their wounds were not my thing. They said it too. We had the Nine of Wands and now we have it again. But Cancer says, yes, of course I love this person. And there's even a part of me that still waits for them. But I could see that they have wounds. I think that they're great. I think they could get beyond their wounds. And I do love them. But at the same time, I'm not going to like stress myself out. I love who I love. Emperor and Knight of Cups. Aries not having any of this. There's an energy. There's an energy here in this story where Cancer is like, I know they're wounded and I also know I loved them, but that doesn't mean that they're the only game in town. I could very easily end up with an emperor. I could very easily end up dating somebody else. There's a couple different people on my radar. They are not the only game in town. So I don't see that this person is like the only individual on Cancer's mind. Cancer is honest with themselves. I loved them in a big way, even though I could see that they had some, broken energy. But you see, I only deal with emperors, or I only date people that actually pursue. So somebody that's wounded probably can't do those things, and that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So I don't think this Cancer is so much waiting on them. We have a King of Cups. We have the Chariot. Cancer is like, may the best man win. The best man or woman win. I will gravitate to whomever matches my vibe. That does not mean that I sit here and, twiddle my thumbs and be like, but it has to be them. I can't love somebody other than them. Cancer's like, I will gravitate toward whomever delivers the energy that will match my own frequency. They got to love big. They got to love me right. They actually have to be able to share emotion with me, and they have to be healed. This is not Cancer asking for, like someone to be perfect. They're asking for somebody to be in the same vibration that they're in. I can see why this person from Cancer's past, the sabotage things, sees Cancer as like a Queen of Wands, because it's like, that does sound like very sass. But on the other hand, no, Cancer is still the same sweet water energy with all of this emotion, but they're emotionally competent, and they know what their frequency is, and they know the only person that I could actually have success with and gravitate toward would have to be somebody who's sharing my energy space. So that's the only kind of person I'll move toward. I actually think that that's really nice, because it doesn't give it doesn't waste Cancer's time at all. We have a Page of Pentacles upright as well. Page of Pentacles is, all about, excuse me, I'm coughing over here, is all about, I could still talk to that person again. If they show back up in my world, I could still have a conversation with them. Sure, that's possible. But I have to put them in the category that they belong in my life. Wounded individual means they probably can't offer me anything too serious. I can love somebody who's wounded. I can love them for what they are, but I can only give them, and expect in return from them like a very limited amount. I cannot give them too much of me and expect them to be able to do that with me in return. There's a limit to what I can expect of them. And I just think that that's such a wise way for Cancer to have come to this conclusion. They're not going to be brokenhearted. They're not going to be stuck waiting. They're not going to be fantasizing about somebody like, oh, soon they'll be ready. Oh, soon they'll be healed. Cancer's like, I only know them as a wounded individual. And so how do you treat anybody who's injured? You treat them with gentleness. It wouldn't matter what age somebody is. If you see anybody fall down and get hurt, you're compassionate, you're, caring, you treat them almost like they're a kid, right? It's like, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I know that hurts. Hang on, we're going to get you some help. Stay calm. It's going to be okay. Like that's how you talk to people when they're injured, right? You're there for them. You're compassionate. You're trying to make them feel safe. You're trying to, help them. And I almost feel like that's about the way Cancer looks at this person is, I see them, the pages are children. I can talk to them, but I don't talk to them or wouldn't speak to them like they're a potential romantic partner. They are somebody that I care about. Of course I do. And I don't see them as a bad person. I just see them as somebody that I can't consider as a romantic partner, because it's not where they are right now. All of this says Cancer has reached a point where they're very clear. Let me just take a look over here at them, because there wasn't anything on their side that said that they're changing. It just says that they're aware that Cancer walked away because they sabotaged, and they're aware of that. But they were also aware that Cancer was the person that they needed to be ready to go the distance with, or they needed to stay away from. And I think in the end, they sabotaged it and Cancer left them, but they set it up that way. And they were understanding that about themselves. but I don't know what that means. Does that mean that there's any change on the horizon for them, or is this just them acknowledging? Queen of Cups, again, this is them. They do love Cancer for what it's worth. This person loves Cancer, and they love Cancer for the sweetness, for the kindness. It's still going to be a really long time. In this story, it's going to be a really long time before they are ready for anything. You know, this is one of those stories where they know what Cancer, like what vibration Cancer is in, and they also know exactly where they're at, and they are staying away while still possibly keeping tabs on Cancer, or they certainly think about Cancer a lot, but they don't feel ready. And it'll be a long time possibly for them, or they believe it's going to be a long time. Six of Cups sideways. They may be saying, I don't know if I'll get to hang out with Cancer again in this lifetime. I don't know. If I can return into Cancer's world at some point, yeah, of course I would like to, but I doubt that I'll be ready anytime real soon. Certainly not within the next 6 months in this story, right? You know, I kind of feel like this is not a tragedy at all. This is good to have, what I was looking for in this series of stories for the beginning of this week is simplifying everything and saying, okay, for the characters who go into like the cabin and they get in touch with their own nature and they ask their guides, what do I know to be true, or what is accurate just for me? Now, bear in mind, these are fictional stories about fictional characters. I'm not a psychic. I'm not telling anybody their personal life story. So we have to remember this is about these characters. But I still wanted to look at, what's the simplest, most honest look that these characters are having at their own situation, for themselves, for the scenario. And I kind of love the fact that this one, you notice how there's not hurt, there's not pain, there's not anger, there's not anything other than, truth is, they were not ready for me. That's how Cancer took this, and that's allowed them to honestly move forward in their own life as well. But I will say this person did love Cancer, still does, even if they can't be in Cancer's world at this point. You guys, thank you so much. So good to see you. Sandy, you sweetheart. Thank you for being here, babe. Jessica, oh, I hear you. Denisa, well said. Cancer ascended. I love that. Hi, Jem. Hi, Orbelmans, Moon Pony. Thank you guys so much. It's really nice to see you all tonight. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, all that jazz. I will see you guys again. Cancer's next video will be on Saturday. All right, you guys. Gabriella, it's my pleasure, babe. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Bye for now, guys.